smile. You know I love this smile. You know I love that smile. NEMOPHILA, everyone. Monsters. So today, of course, we're going to do that NEMOPHILA video. Last Sunday, I did my first NEMOPHILA reaction. And first of all, I loved the singer's hair, right? That was the best thing. That's the best thing. It's also interesting how the painting turned into Berserk Femto, I would say. I do think it was like a reference to it. It was almost exactly like in Berserk, and of course a very iconic imagery in Japanese pop culture, right? But anyway, I digress. The most requested song then from NEMOPHILA is Monsters. So we're gonna watch it now then, and I'm gonna do a live then. It's the first time I'm watching NEMOPHILA live. Now, this is called live video, so maybe it's an edited live performance. Sometimes, right, when bands call it live video, it tends to be, like I said, like edited instead of just like a real streaming of the live thing. So we see what happens. So, I mean, I'm new to this band, right? Leave a comment below what you prefer and so on, if live or the music videos. But anyway, let's go. Okay, let's start. Monsters. For that matter, yesterday I did DragonForce, Fire and Flames. Interesting video I think, because I worked for Hero, but here we go. To like this dog, it's been an 8-bit vibe, yeah. I have to say, she looks incredibly different without the hair. She looks like a completely different person. He's got obsessed with her hair now. But she got that typical Gauru hair, right? In the last video, right? You know, like Marion or whatever, you know, with different like highlight, blonde, you know, with different like colors to the hair and so on. Kind of like my Nami, kind of orange blonde hair, right? Now she's like brown. And now she looks like a, you know, kind of the typical hair color for a Japanese woman. No, I'm sorry, but seriously though, yeah, she looks like a completely different person without the gal hair. Like I was like, my god, is this the same singer? Like it should be two different people completely.
Look up in the sky.
It's kind of the beginning as well, right? I you know, leave a couple of you guys think about it, but for me, this feels very much like a kind of a 8-bit, maybe a 16-bit perhaps, maybe more accurately, a 16-bit vibe to it, you know. This to me feels like a Megaman X, kind of, you know, like a Megaman X stage a little bit, you know. Yeah, it feels very similar to, I'll show you guys later after the video here, but to me, it really reminds me of something you would have on like the Super Nintendo. I love her voice. So it's a very interesting voice, I feel. And to me, I don't know if it's the right thing to call it, but I feel it sounds a little bit nasal, right? And I like it, okay? I grew up with Fran Dresnel, if you know what I'm talking about, Nan and so on. I love Fran, I love the nasal thing. For that matter, I kind of like Janice in Friends, okay? I feel like no one's getting reference now. I don't know, okay? Am I getting too old? I'm like, have you seen Janice in Friends? You know, like, oh, Chandler! But, you know, that kind of voice, right? But I liked it. Yeah, it never really bothered me that much. It's more how she is, you know. Yeah, Janice is very much. She's very, oh, yeah, she's very. No, I like it, you know. I love Fran, yeah. But I guess it is a little bit of the guy I suppose, right? Yeah, honestly. Like, Fran's a little bit of an American gal, right? But anyway, yeah, I really like her voice, but I have a hard time to almost kind of define it. I don't know what you would call it. There's probably like an accurate Japanese term for this thing. I'm sure there is, right? Leave a comment below if you know what it's called in Japanese. You know I love this smile. You know I love that smile. Okay, you know I love this smile. Let's go back to you know I love it. I'm such a sucker for when the guitar chick is like, yeah, look at me smiling, I'm happy doing. Her face goes out the screen there, but you know I am a massive sucker. I love this thing so much, right? This is gonna go into doing this video in the beginning, right? I started with BAND-MAID, and obviously it was like Akane, right? The drummer in BAND-MAID. She has like the biggest smile. She looks like the Joker, let's be honest here. But I love Akane, right? She got this ridiculous smile, right? She's drumming, she looks so happy, you know. At least, yeah. And then we get into, for example, you know, LOVEBITES, right? And you see like Midori when she's smiling, and you know she's like having the guitar duels against Miyako, right? And here again, you know, yeah. This is why I keep coming back to this like huge love for this like, you know, all girl band, Japanese girl band, because they always look so incredibly happy when they're doing their performance, right? You know, it really brightens my day. I love you seeing this like, oh, look at this smile, you know. No, but it just makes me so happy. But I always keep saying it, all right. You know, obviously I'm a very much a Japanese cultural fan, right? And with that, I also mean anime and manga and so on, right? You know what I mean? Like I taught myself how to speak Japanese when I was 14, right? And then I worked for different Japanese companies, I guess most notoriously Square Enix and so forth, right? Which was FF7 or whatever, right? I mean, obviously the remake, not the first, not that old. I worked on the first episode. No, but you know, so I can obviously got into the culture, right, in many aspects, and it started though actually with martial art, right? A lot of people think that I started in the Japanese culture because of maybe manga and anime, but no. I actually started training martial art when I was like 6, 7, and then I got into anime, manga, and so on a couple of years later, actually, and also first and foremost video games as well, obviously, of course, so on, so on. But my long point is that I don't know, I keep saying it every time when I find these new bands that I want to react and talk about it, is that I really do love Japanese culture. Right? That's kind of what I'm coming to. Long points post, but it's like, yeah, because this is just how Japanese people are. You know, I think they have a much better culture when it comes to life. They're happier. It's just kind of like, this is what it is. They take a lot of like pride in what they're doing, right? And I think that honestly makes Japanese people so much more happier than most other like modern cultures, like industrial cultures, is that they actually really take pride in their job, right? Because it makes you happy. You're smiling, you're happy, you're doing something that you enjoy, right? And that is something I feel people massively lacking, especially in the West, right? You know, they're always like, oh, everything is terrible, whatever. No, you know, if you start by trying to like respect and have pride in your job, right? Life gets better, right? Like for me personally, I had jobs in the past, especially when I worked when I had 2 different video game companies back in the past, and I felt more, you know, sad, maybe even depressed, arguably, when I had too little job to do at the office, right? The actual reason that I started making videos on this channel, but this channel here is like 20 years old or whatever, old, but I made like 1 or 2 videos like 20 years ago on this channel, right? And then I didn't do any videos for like 15 years, you know what I mean? So that count is very, very old, right? But the reason I started making videos again, actually, majorly for me, was because at that time, there was so little time to do at my office, right? I was just a lead designer, nothing was happening, so I started feeling basically sad, right, or depressed, or something like that, you know, after work, right? Because I felt like, oh, I went to the office, nothing happens, nothing is being developed, nothing is working, you know, everything stands still, I have nothing new to design, nothing new to plan, or to manage, right? So I started feeling really, really restless, right? So I just couldn't have any pride anymore in my work. Otherwise, especially when I was game design, I take massive pride into it, right? I spend too much time, or too much overtime, whatever, right? So I really, really care about what I am developing and producing and whatnot, right? But at that time, it was just the company stood still for like months, okay? Nothing happened. Of course, the company eventually then, you know, was like the closest studios and all that. But that was the start of this channel, actually, because it's just like, oh my god, nothing happens, right? And I just felt so sad, basically, coming here after work, being like, you know, it's like my girlfriend's like, what happened to you today? It's like, nothing, you know, talk to my grandma on the phone, and because my grandma calls me every day, and she's like, oh, how did you go? I was like, I did nothing today, grandma. It sort of feeling like that, right? And they were like, and so forth. But basically, I think that's a huge issue, and that's also why I'm massively against, you know, the whole quiet quitting or whatever, right? Like, just try to change your job instead, you know? Why go to a place where you feel depressed every day you're going there? It's just terrible, right? Like, this Friday, I found this big issue on the system where I work. I talked about what it was, but it was a big system, and my man even mailed me, and today it's like, hey, good job, you know? This is an important issue fund. I was like, thank you, right? I was like, that's what you want, you know? You want to have that, like, that's right. I did this big thing at work, you know. You want to have that feeling, right, you know? And you can take that into anything, playing music, doing art, or whatever, right? But I think it's massively important to take pride in your work. Now I got like a long rant and whatever, but the song is basically over. But this is what I feel when I see the smile. It's like I have a minute left of the music video. Could maybe done that super long, inspiring speech of life before that. But let's go into the last half. Yeah, I really like her voice. Yeah.
Look up in the sky.
I love her movements though. I love her hips though. She got Elvis hips, man. Oh my god, her hips are crazy, but yes, yeah. But yeah, her hips are crazy, man. I mean it, guys. You know, I felt that waifu vibe the whole video. I have to admit it now. I have to admit it. I absolutely, from the beginning of the music video. For the beginning of the video, I was like, my god, her hips are amazing. Yeah, she got an amazing like dance, sing moves. It's awesome. Look at the end there. You know, look at the hips there. Yeah. Look at that moves. Hey, yeah, look at the hips. I love her hips. She got amazing hips work. Okay, like seriously. Seriously, that woman, she reminds me of Elvis, you know. She does like an amazing hip movement all the time. Oh, it's awesome. But it's always fun when the singer is like a hype movement, right? I think you see the same in LOVEBITES when they're doing the guitar, like battles or whatever. She's always walks around like, come on, everyone. Yeah, she does more that thing. She doesn't do the dance. She more walks around and it's like, She's more like that, right? You know, she's like a hyper, you know. And this she does a massive hip moves. Oh, that's awesome. But what it really reminds me of is something like Mega Man X. It's here. Yeah, I don't know. I keep thinking about like video game music when I listen to their middle like not singing. Yeah, when it's just like instrumental, it reminds me of, for example, then Megaman X, Madness or this. So this was first got to my mind, but it's like I don't know why I keep thinking of that. I really like it. Don't get me wrong. I really like that. I think it's great. I love this kind of music, right? I mentioned in another video last week how it's just like extroverted, introverted, right? I'm an extremely extroverted person, like a genuinely extroverted person, so some fake YouTube or whatever. But actually, right, in real life, and you tend to enjoy this kind of music. You know, you tend to enjoy kind of higher beated music. So yeah, I really do like the instrumental bit of NEMOPHILA there. But it gives me this like really nice like video game vibes, and I obviously am a huge video game fan. This week I might do another video game. Yeah, I was thinking probably doing more video game music as well next week. So I tend to do that on and off as well, right? Reviewing some more video game music as well. Related to that, I tend to go more for like emotional songs, Final Fantasy or whatever, right? So far that brings the most like emotions to me, of course, joy, right? Of this like sad music, like when this character dies or whatever. But next video game music video, I will try to make it about more like a high-speeded songs, maybe a teal something. But because I love this stuff, you know. I'm obviously listening to this music all the time as well, you know. It's like I'm super into all the time. And I said it's a more video thing, but back in college, once a month we used to have like a video game party, right? And I would always do the quiz, right? I would do that, you know, music quiz for video game music every month. So I got on all the different tracks, guys. But anyway, guys, subscribe, slap, and have a great day.